Kerala viewers, just when we thought we were unraveling the Al-Falah plot, we now have this new shocker to contend with. Yes, viewers, this is the alarming story of an alleged radicalization chain that begins, and you won't believe this, in a family home and ends in the shadow of a global terror network. As the Al-Falah revelations deepen, investigators say a 16-year-old boy was being groomed for ISIS, not by recruiters in some distant war zone, but by his own mother and her partner, his stepfather. Kerala police have invoked the toughest anti-terror law, the UAPA, after uncovering claims that the couple showed ISIS propaganda videos while living in the UK, then placed the teen in an Islamic school on returning to India, where teachers allegedly flagged disturbing behavioral shifts. Viewers, the couple under the scanner have dismissed the claims. They instead accused the minor boy of being influenced by estranged in-laws, the woman's in-laws, to frame the couple. But the evidence is mounting against the couple, placing them in a precarious position. In fact, there is now a demand for the NIA to get into investigating this case because there is an apprehension that it has, once again, links which could be global. The Kerala police has registered the case, as I told you, under the UAPA. The facts now are appearing in black and white, viewers. The grooming allegedly began in UK. The child then returns. He's placed in Islamic school. Teachers report behavioral changes. The couple, of course, protests as they're being framed. All of this is building up. But, viewers, let me tell you, even if there is a shred of truth to this, and I don't want to prejudice the investigations, but if there is, then, viewers, as you know, the ISIS needs no introduction. Its agenda, as you know, friends, is to plant the flag of Islam in multicultural societies, turn them into caliphates, especially modern and secular democracies like India. Yes, viewers, what does the ISIS aim to do? If you open its manifesto and you read through it, 4 basic aims: establish a global caliphate through violent overthrow of governments, especially secular democracies, use of extreme brutality as psychological warfare, including mass executions, beheadings staged as spectacle, and you know what I'm talking about, you've seen those pictures in the past. Enforce rigid, distorted interpretation of the Sharia, promote global jihad through recruitment and radicalization. All this, viewers, even as sections of the ecosystem, this so-called secular lobby in this country, continue to insist radicalization is a myth. They give fire cover to it from Kashmir to Kerala. They say that this is all a reaction. This radicalization in India is a reaction. It's a reaction to the conditions that Muslims find themselves in, the prejudice that they seem to face, viewers. Tonight we ask, when parents themselves prepare a child for jihad, people who don't seem to have faced any discrimination, whose life chances have not been affected or impacted in any way. In fact, they lived in the UK, they're upwardly mobile. If these type of people can prepare a child for jihad, can groom a child for jihad, can society afford this culture of denial, especially a multicultural society like ours? And viewers, let's open this up. And I have to tonight ask some very, very, very straight and honest questions. And I want to first begin with Syed Fazal, a Kashmiri political analyst. Now, Mr. Fazal, look, politicians from Kashmir have sort of taken it upon themselves to suggest that all of this is the behavior of misguided youth, that this module, for example, that appears from Kashmir, recruited from Kashmir, is just full of people who lost their way, or as Mehbooba Mufti and some others seem to suggest, are reacting to the circumstances they find themselves in. Now, you look at Kerala, you look at this couple, clearly they are not faced with the situation that you allege some people find themselves, which alienates them in Kashmir. There is none of those parallels. But who are they recruiting for? The ISIS. The ISIS which is self-radicalized. And where is the ISIS functioning? In Islamic countries, where there is no RSS, there is no Hindu majority, there's nobody to basically drive them up the wall and become jihadis. Mr. Syed Fazal, somewhere I think moderate Muslims, and I'm sure you're one, will accept that there is something very rotten at the core here. And you will take ownership and perhaps now send out a message to a large number of youth, to people who are falling for this claptrap, that look, the majority moderate Muslim will not stand for this. And I hope, sir, that you will lead the protests on the streets of Kashmir and other parts of this country.
See, there are two things to be made very clear, that anybody who chooses the path of violence for any terrorist organization across India or outside will face the consequences equally. Secondly, I have firm belief in my security forces and the intelligence forces that they will find the root cause of this case, especially where the parents are preparing their child for ISS. Thirdly, the term ISS has Islam in it, but it has nothing to do with the religion, because there are many Islamic scholars in India and abroad also who have clearly given fatwa against these organizations. So connecting these organizations to a particular religion, I think we should avoid this, because it will increase the already existing, communal conflict that we see in some places in India or abroad as well. But at the same time, I would definitely point this out, that Islam has no space for terrorism, and any form of terrorism, be it in Kashmir, be it in Kerala, or be it in any part of the world, it is unacceptable.
Okay, let me bring in, I have my thoughts on what you have said, but let me bring in BJP's national spokesperson, Sanju Verma. Islam has no space. This is not us. We don't represent this, yet these people from ISIS want to impose Sharia, which is at the heart of, I don't know, but I think some ideology, isn't it?
Rahul, I always say that more dangerous than the terrorists are the terror apologists, because the terrorists have gone back to a point of no return. But look at the terror apologists. They sit day after day on primetime television and are so casual about normalizing terror. Look at, Mehbooba Mufti of the PDP. She says, why are young Muslims being targeted and victimized? Why are their families being interrogated? And Mehbooba Mufti's daughter, Iltija Mufti, is the same lady who a couple of months back had said that Jai Shri Ram is a war cry that is provocative, that is inflammatory, that is incendiary. But this is the same lot which has absolutely no problem with गुस्ताके रसूल की एक ही सजा, सरकन से जुदा. तब ये कहते हैं, but Islam does not condone violence. Why are you bringing religion into it? I say this with a lot of responsibility. Terrorists have names and terror has a religion. That religion is radical Islam, or if you want, you can call it political Islam. I want to say one thing, Rahul. Who were the perpetrators of the Kashmiri genocide of 1990s? It was radical Islamists. The 26/11 Mumbai blast, radical Islamists. The Jammu blast, radical Islamists. The Chinnaswamy Stadium blast, radical Islamists. The Rameshwaram Cafe blast last year,
have you heard the statement of Ajit Doval recently?
The Jaipur blast, radical Islamists. The Ahmedabad blast, radical Islamists. The 10/11 blast involving 6 doctors, including one of them, that suicide bomber, Muhammad Umar Nabi, who actually said, "Ye to shahadat hai. This is martyrdom. हम जन्नत जाएंगे, 72 हूरें नसीब होंगी." So this, we sit here and we make mockery of this 72 hoors business, but for them, this is jihad. And what did one, radio jockey say? Her video of 2020 is now viral on social media. She says jihad does not mean holy war. Jihad simply means struggle. And kafirs, the word kafir does not mean non-believers. Kafir हम सिर्फ उनको बुलाते हैं who try to hide or conceal their religion. Now, why would a Hindu try to conceal his religion? हम तो बड़े गर्व से माथे पर टीका लगाते हैं, चंदन लगाते हैं, रुद्राक्ष पहनते हैं, जनेऊ पहनते हैं, कलावा पहनते हैं. So basically, the idea of converting Darul Harb into Darul Islam, that is what the Hadith endorses. And that is what a lot of these radical Islamists endorse. You scratch the surface of a moderate Muslim and out comes a radical Islamist. You just scratch the tip of the iceberg.
So Mr. Kashani wanted to come in and respond. 1 second. He raised his hand.
Yes.
He wants to respond, Mr. Abbas. 1 second. Yes.
I opened this debate in my opening remarks. I clearly said that Islam condemns every form of terrorism. Now,
so can I ask you, Mr. Kashani, on that point? On that point. 1 second. 1 second. On that point, I hope you condemn the Sartan se Juda slogans that have reduced. So let me then ask you. I hope you then condemn, by extension, the people who actually actualize these, like Burhan Wani. I hope you condemn Burhan Wani.
Definitely.
And I hope you condemn all those people who turned out in the streets for Burhan Wani carrying his janaza to his grave and demanded that there should be a memorial built for him. I just hope you do that, sir.
Definitely I do. But it is very convenient.
No, but what?
It is very convenient for Sanju Verma to link
1
this with
second.
religion.
Why?
I
Why?
want to ask her who killed Gandhi.
No, but
have you read the statement of Mr. Ajit Doval that ISIS has recruited more Hindus?
Your radical Islamist ideology is the single biggest reason for
what
terror
would you
attacks
say?
Globally.
What would you say on Ajit Doval's statement?
Jamaatul Dawa, ISIS,
What would you say on Ajit
Boko Haram,
Doval's statement
Hamas,
who claims that more
Al-Qaeda,
Hindus are recruited by
Lashkar-e-Toiba?
ISI?
These are all radical Islamist organizations. Hindus do not say Jai Shri Ram and then bleed people. बम नहीं छोड़ते हम.
इस देश में रहना होगा, जय श्री राम कहना होगा. ये कहाँ से आया?
जय श्री राम कहकर लोगों का गला नहीं काटते. आप तो अल्लाह हू अकबर कहकर बम छोड़ देते.
Okay. Let's pipe down. Let me open this up. Just 1 second, Mr. Kashani. 1 second. Look, viewers, there is now an equivalence that is sought to be drawn. Mr. Abbas will also try and draw it, and Mr. Gupta will listen and he will try and rebut him. So, Mr. Abbas, I just want to ask you a fundamental question.
Yes,
and this is no longer a question that we should duck. You see, when parents are grooming their child to join the ISIS, does this completely now negate this argument that they are doing so because they feel that they are discriminated against in this country? They have basically got a problem with the idea of India as it appears to them. In fact, if anything, if they stood for the forces that they believe, or they stood against the forces they believe are targeting them for their persuasion or their religion, they would be wanting to uphold the idea of India, which is an inclusive idea of India. They would be saying, no, we swear by the constitution, not by the manifesto of the ISIS. So I'm asking you, sir, tonight, there is a problem. It may not be your problem, it may not be Mr. Kashani's problem. I mean, maybe it's not affecting you, but certainly people in your community are being affected by the pull of a revanchist ideology that wants to turn the world into a caliphate. And you have to accept it. If you are not going to accept it, there is no cure.
Rahul Sahab, this is a very important question, a fair question you've asked. It's a loaded question. So kindly allow me 2 minutes to be on your debate, sir, on CNN and your debate. I've cancelled 2 other channels. So just give me 2 minutes. The question to the recruiters, to the parents of that young kid, sharm aani chahiye. Sharm aani chahiye. I condemn them. They are the biggest traitors of not just Islam, but this beautiful Watan. Our Prophet speaks of Hubbul Watan, love for the country, live for the country, your patriotism and your blood for your country. The fact is, let me tell you, there is no other better place in the world for Muslims than India. For our Prophet says, your birthplace is bigger than even the Saudi Arabia and Makkah, which is the place of God. So through you, Muslim brothers and sisters, therefore to the parents of the kid who are trying to brainwash that kid, भारत की जो तमाम माएं हैं उनको कहूंगा मैं, ऐसी औलाद पैदा करो जो इस देश के लिए मर मिट सके. Also, Rahul Saab, let me take this opportunity. I know there could be a certain section of our community could go against me. All those people like so-called Dr. Zakir Naik
But why
who
will they go against you,
brainwash
sir?
us.
But why will they go
Just
against you? Are you
because I'll
somebody
tell you,
who is
I will
moving
tell you
away
why.
from... No, 1 second. I'm asking you.
I
This is
will
the
answer.
fundamental question. Are you moving away from some fundamental, some prescribed doctrine that they should be upset with you, Abbas sir?
I will answer. There is a following of Zakir Naik which exists, who I believe is the following of the devil and evil. People who
No,
follow
but
him
why?
must be
Why? Why do
condemned.
these people exist? Because they've
I
not
think,
reconciled
I think,
themselves to the idea of
hmm,
India? Would that be the case?
I think they shouldn't. I
Okay.
have a larger
So,
point to
Mr.
make. I think
Gupta,
I,
here
just
is the
30
crux.
seconds,
I
30
think
seconds,
Mr.
Rahul Sir,
Abbas,
please.
Mr.
Please, 30
Abbas,
seconds,
at
give me.
least we must
Rahul
give
Sir,
him.
30
Yeah, yeah,
seconds.
please. Yeah, yeah, 30
Rahul
seconds.
Sir,
Yeah, yeah, okay, 30 seconds.
thank you, sir. Also, I heard Sanju Verma ji, I'm glad that you're taking the stand against Mehbooba Mufti. But let us understand, which formed alliance with Mehbooba Mufti, the
Okay,
Broke
okay.
our
You know,
anti-Mehbooba
alliance with
now,
Mufti, only
Mehbooba
for
in
to make
Mehbooba Mufti
2018.
also formed... 1 minute. Mehbooba
Also,
Mufti, you
We
can flip
broke
the
our
coin. This is
alliance
now
with
also,
becoming
them in
political.
just
Lower
10
the
seconds.
faders. It's
2018.
10
becoming
seconds, Rahul sir.
political. No, no, I'm
Please,
not
10.
going down this political route, please. You know, you're making this political. We are making this temporal. 1 minute. Let me just bring in Mr. Gupta. Mr. Gupta, this is very important. Look, if there are people who are going to target Mr. Abbas for sounding humble, there's a problem.
Absolutely, there is a problem. And the problem exists because we are not honest in addressing the causality of his radicalization. Sayyid Asad Abbas or Faisal Kashani may say anything, but the problem is that mother of a young boy has her own violent interpretation of the religious texts. That violent interpretation is her own, and it disagrees with what Mr. Abbas may think here. But the problem is, we as a society are not willing to accept that there are who carry this own misinterpretation of the Holy Quran, and then they sort of use it to radicalize the people around them, and that needs to be addressed. That is the causality. You cannot look at
Do
some
you think
event
there is a
50 years
time
ago.
now should we go in for a regulating sermons at the mosque and setting up de-radicalization camps, Mr. Gupta?
Absolutely, and the call should come from within the community. That is what I'm waiting for, Rahul. The call should come from the community, from the intellectuals of the community, that this is
I'd
harming
like
the
to answer
community
this,
at large.
please.
That's
This is
not
harming
happening.
the interests of the community at large, and
We
that is
haven't
what
heard those
everyone is
calls.
waiting for. The
We haven't
community
heard
needs
those
to
calls.
speak up. The
Exactly. I mean,
community doesn't need to. The community doesn't need to dodge the topic of the
let me
causality.
tell you,
You cannot
viewers,
say
when Yati Narsingh, whatever his name was, that horrible
Yati
character,
Narasimhananda.
yeah, when he made those remarks, it was Hindus that went to file cases against him.
yes. The
Hindus.
community, the community.
I'm not seeing that, viewers, here.
I will answer
The state
that,
is
Rahul
expected
sir,
to.
if
No,
you allow me.
I've run out of time. I've run out of time, but I understand, sir. At least I must commend you for having the guts
Yes.
to stand up and look the problem in the face. Now, whether the face will bark at you and bite you, I don't know. But the problem is, I hope that is not the case. I hope more power to people like you. And I just hope, viewers,
And I just want to say,
people
Rahul
wake
sir,
up. That these people wake up. There's a zombie epidemic right now that is sweeping through. You have to be very, very worried. Very worried. Let me tell you, viewers, this is the #1 national security threat. I just want to move on because, viewers, we're going to turn our attention to